Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm painting the North Sydney post office in watercolor. If you've been to North Sydney's CBD, you've probably seen it. It's a local landmark. On the left is the Google Street View reference, and on the right is my sketch. I'll walk you through the process step by step, from inking to the final touches, and share tips on colors, shadows, and fixing mistakes along the way. Let's get started. I have already done a light pencil sketch, so here I'm going straight in with a fountain pen. This sketch is sped up 6 times, so it does not take too long. But in real time, this part is much slower and more relaxed. Even though this is an architectural subject, I'm keeping the lines loose and flowing. The idea is not to get stuck on every tiny detail. Loose lines make the sketch feel alive and expressive. Don't worry about being perfect. You will see me let the pen wander a little. And that's okay, because the goal is to suggest structure, not copy every single brick. If you make a line that feels slightly off, just keep going. Once we add color and shadows later, those little variations will actually add character to the sketch. Now I begin painting. I wet the background around the building and drop in some French ultramarine for the sky. While that dries, I put down a very diluted burnt umber wash across the whole building. This base layer ties everything together and prepares the surface for stronger colors later. Next, I move to the trees on both sides. I start with the yellow ochre for warmth, then layer different greens with mixes of blues and greens to add depth from light to dark, building layers gradually. Now I begin adding shadows with Payne's Grey mixed with blue. I place these under the arches, windows, and doors. Because the light is coming from the right side, I darken the left walls. These shadows instantly give the building more form and structure. Now I'm adding burnt sienna and alizarin crimson to the central arch and its edges. This warm mix brings out contrast against the cooler washes we applied earlier. Next, I place a grayish blue wash on the dome and start darkening the shadows in the windows and the arches with Payne's Grey. On the footpath, I add yellow ochre and then sketch a small figure, giving it a shadow to suggest scale. For the car, I deepen the shadow underneath and use Payne's Grey on the street, lifting up excess paint with the paper towel. Now I return to the trees, adding different variations of green to create depth. I also suggest shadows of the figure for the car underneath and on the darker side of the building opposite the light. On the footpath, I add a few textures and splashes to bring in some creativity. Then I use a light diluted burnt umber to add contrast and edges to the building, deepening the shadows for more depth. Next, I mix burnt sienna and alizarin crimson to create warm contrast in the building, following the tones from the reference picture. I also darken the clock and suggest its shadows. For fun detail, I add the traffic signal with just a few strokes of color and outline it loosely with the ink pen. And with that, the North Sydney post office comes to life. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like the video, leave a comment and subscribe for more watercolor and urban sketching. Let me know what subject you would like me to paint next. See you in the next one. Bye.